Okay, so let's just start with this wild idea. What on earth could a 3,000-year-old religious text have to do with a modern, high-frequency trader? I mean, it sounds a little crazy, right? Well, as it turns out, maybe not so crazy. Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating source that finds a playbook for trading discipline in just about the last place you'd ever think to look, the ancient book of Leviticus. So let's get right to it. Why do most traders lose money? I mean, this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps you up at night staring at the ceiling. Is my strategy just bad? Is the market rigged against me? Am I just unlucky? We're always looking for something or someone to blame for our losses. But what if the real enemy isn't out there? What if the answer is a whole lot closer to home? The source we're looking at today makes this huge point. The market isn't your enemy. It doesn't care about you. It's totally neutral. The real fight, the one that actually decides if you win or lose in the long run, well, that's happening right between your own ears. It's a fight for discipline. Okay, so if the problem is us, if it's internal, where do we find the instruction manual to fix it? Well, you're not going to believe this, but to find the solution for this super modern problem, we have to go back in time. And I mean way back.
That's right. Leviticus. Now, hold on. The argument here isn't religious, it's structural. Think about it. Leviticus is basically this incredibly dense, detailed instruction manual for a super high-stakes job, the ancient priesthood. It is obsessed with standards, with order, with precise protocols. You know, the exact same things a struggling trader desperately needs.
All right, so let's get practical. The very first lesson we can pull from this ancient playbook comes from the 5 different offerings they had, and it all boils down to one absolutely critical skill. You have to know how to correctly diagnose your mistakes. And here's the key. It was all about precision. Back in ancient Israel, you didn't just show up with one generic "I'm sorry" offering for everything. Nope. There was a specific offering for worship, a different one for gratitude, and a totally separate one for, say, an accidental mistake. The protocol was different because the reason was different. Makes sense, right? And boom, there it is. That's the perfect parallel for trading. A loss is not just a loss. They aren't all the same. If you treat a cost of doing business loss the same way you treat an "I totally broke all my rules" loss, you're setting yourself up for disaster. You'll end up trying to fix a discipline problem by messing with your strategy. And guess what? It's never going to work. So here's the absolute heart of it. A system loss. That's just the price of admission. It's the cost of doing business. You followed your plan perfectly, the odds just didn't work out this time. What's the right response? You just accept it, and you move on. But a rule violation loss? Oh, that's totally different. That's a failure of you, and that demands some serious accountability and a hard look at your discipline. And you know, the source material actually gets even more specific, breaking it down into this amazing framework. A system loss, that requires acceptance. An execution loss, like you fumbled the entry, that needs technique work. A rule violation loss is all about discipline. That revenge loss, that's psychology, my friend. And an environmental loss, like trying to trade in choppy, awful conditions, that means you need better filters. See? Each problem has its own unique fix. Okay, so here's your homework. This is the big actionable takeaway. For your next 20 trades, I want you to build this system in your journal. Label every single loss with one of those 5 categories. I am telling you, after 20 trades, a pattern is going to jump right off the page, and the data will show you exactly what you really need to be working on. All right, lesson number 2. This one is a super powerful cautionary tale about hubris. You know, that danger of thinking you're smarter than your own system. And it comes from this really dramatic story in Leviticus about something called unauthorized fire. So this story goes like this. 2 very experienced priests, Nadab and Abihu, they decide to improvise. They deviate from the protocol that was laid out for them. They were experts. They absolutely knew the rules. But they used a type of fire that wasn't commanded. And the consequences? They were immediate and they were deadly. And you see the trading parallel there, don't you? It's just so clear. The most dangerous trader out there isn't the scared rookie. No way. It's the profitable, experienced trader who gets a little too cocky and starts to believe their own rules are just for other people. And that's when they take that unauthorized trade. So let's just make this crystal clear. Confidence that comes from a system you've tested and you trust, that's a huge asset. But overconfidence that makes you ignore that same system, that's fatal. Your years of experience don't give you a free pass to break your own rules. In fact, they make sticking to them even more important. I want you to really let this sink in. Your trading plan, your rules, they're not suggestions for beginners. They're not training wheels you get to take off later. They are the professional protocol. They are the pre-flight checklist that keeps the veteran pilot and the experienced trader alive. Okay, on to our third and final big lesson. This one's all about the strategic power of hitting the reset button. It's about knowing when it's time to step back, clear the slate, and just start fresh. And the inspiration for this comes from an incredible ancient concept called the Year of Jubilee. I mean, the Year of Jubilee was a truly radical idea. Think about this. Every 50 years, everything reset. All debts were just canceled, land went back to its original family, people who were forced into servitude were set free. It was this mandatory, system-wide reset designed to prevent things from spiraling down forever. And for a trader, this is all about psychological debt. You know what I'm talking about? That accumulated weight of your losses, your bad habits, all the frustration. A personal jubilee is a strategic decision to just stop. It's your chance to wipe that mental slate totally clean and rebuild your whole approach from square one. So how do you actually do one? It's simple, really. First, take a planned break, and I mean a real break from live trading. Second, go back and review and rebuild your entire system piece by piece. Third, archive that old trading journal and start a brand new one. And fourth, and this is so important, you go back to demo trading to rebuild your confidence and good habits from a solid foundation. And please, remember this, there is absolutely no shame in a strategic reset. It's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of wisdom. Think about it like a farmer. The land that is allowed to rest and lie fallow always produces more in the long run. The exact same thing is true for a trader's mind. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Knowing your losses, avoiding those unauthorized trades, taking a strategic reset when you need it, it all points to this one single massive theme from Leviticus. The source calls it the holiness standard. And the big idea here is that excellence can't just live in one little box. You can't be an A+ student when it comes to analysis, but an F student in your journaling. You can't have brilliant entries, but then let your emotions run wild. Why? Because mediocrity in one area will always find a way to infect and ruin the entire system. This phrase that pops up over and over in Leviticus, it was a call to a consistently high standard in every single area of life, not just the easy ones. And for a trader, the lesson is clear. It's about a relentless pursuit of professional-grade excellence in every single part of what you do. So, as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with this question. And notice, the question isn't if you need a higher standard, it's where. I want you to look at your entire trading process, your prep, your execution, your review, all of it, and ask yourself honestly, what's the one part of my craft that requires a higher standard starting right now?